Hi, my name is Alyssa from Wonder Yoga. In this video, we're going to look at some short sequences that help to improve your balance and proprioception for stability. Stand comfortably with your feet directly beneath your hips, a very slight bend in the knees for buoyancy, and begin to rock your weight forward and back, feeling the weight come into the balls of the feet and the toes and dropping back into your heels. Making the movement smaller now, rocking back and forth. Maybe even close your eyes. And as you settle now, notice whether the weight is more in the front of the feet or dropping back into the heels or to the outer edges or the insteps, and see if you could feel your weight centered across the soles of both feet. With your next breath in, float arms up, making a heart shape in front of you, bringing fingertips together on the out breath, release arms down and circle up again. Coming down your center and again. Relaxing arms at your sides. And this time we'll lift the right knee, floating arms up. Press heel and palms forward, bending your standing knee. Reverse it, gathering in, floating up. And this time tipping forward and pushing your heel up. Rise again and press forward. Gathering up and tip. We'll do this one more time. Try and keep your hips level and move with your breath. Floating arms up and touch down lightly, resetting your stance. Let's do the same to the other side. Left knee floats up, pushing forward, scooping in, and tip. So just notice how your balance is feeling today, whether you feel a bit wobbly, whether you feel like you're pulling to one side, and notice how your muscles react to keep your body stable and whether your ankle is a little wobbly today. Building strength and stability. Touching down now, come down lightly and feel the weight center across both feet again. Now let's try something new. Grab yourself a yoga block, or if you don't have a yoga block or don't want to use one, you could just repeat that same sequence once to each side. Placing one foot on the block, and if your foot doesn't fit, then use two blocks so that your toes don't curl over the end. Now bringing hands to hips, let's try and keep them nice and level, and just start to swing the free leg so that your body gets used to balancing on the block. Relax your arms at your sides and steady your focus again. We're going to repeat that same move. So floating knee and arms up, pressing forward, bending the standing knee, gathering in and up and tipping. So the whole time we're aiming to keep the hips level, and you might start to bend even deeper into the standing knee, noticing which muscles activate to keep you stable. So we'll do this 3 times total. And finally, floating the foot down, lightly bending the standing knee. Step both feet down and reset to begin the other side. Hands to hips, floating the leg first, and then when you're ready, beginning the movement again. Noticing if anything feels different on this side. Maybe you feel more or less balanced. Maybe you're feeling a bit wobblier on this ankle or less so. Maybe you're feeling it in a different place, feeling different muscles activate. It's always helpful to notice these differences from one side to the other, especially when we are able to isolate the movement in this way. Lightly touching down again, stepping off the block, and take a moment to reset. Here's our next sequence. Starting with feet under hips again. The sequence starts in the same way. So with your next breath, float the right knee up, hands lift, and press forward. Gathering in, tip your chest forward and heel up. This time stepping down into a lunge, bend the back knee, sweep arms up, and pull your elbows down. Reaching up again, shift your weight into the front leg, and then float the back leg off, heel up, arms back, rise again, and push heel forward. Gather in and touch down lightly. Center your weight and begin the other side. Rise and press forward. Scooping in and dive. Extend the back leg, touch down to lunge. Now we bend the back knee to help support the lower back, tilting tailbone down, elbows drag down. Lift again, shift your weight, then lift off. Rise, press, gather in, and reset. So here's our next sequence. This one simulates a walking movement. So lifting the right knee and left arm. As you tip forward, switch arms and bend the standing knee deeply. Reversing the move, knee lifts, tipping again, as we do this for a total of 3 times. Notice if your ankle is as wobbly as mine today. And finally touch down, shift the weight so it's even across both feet, and then shift into the right foot as we lift off the left leg. 3 times on this side as well. Notice if anything feels different on this side. See if you can make your movements really smooth, feeling your muscles activate. Stepping down and feel the weight distribute evenly into both feet. You guessed it, we're trying it on a block. So if you're not using a block, then you could just repeat the same movement on the floor. Otherwise, let's reset like we did before and begin our walking movement. See if it helps to bend the standing knee more deeply to help maintain stability. Try and keep your movements really smooth and controlled. Moving consciously. Finally reset, stepping down, both feet on the floor, and switch to the other side for those same 3 walking motions. Now, if this exercise feels quite easy for you, you could try it with your eyes closed, or even just for a moment. Make sure you keep yourself safe so you don't fall off the block. And if this exercise is really challenging for you, think to yourself, what is it about this movement that is so challenging? And finally coming down again. We've got one more of these sequences to learn. Starting in the same way, our walking motion again, lifting the right knee and the left arm. Tipping forward, switching arms, rise again. Tipping, and this time extend the back leg, step down to your lunge. Dip the back knee, pull your right elbow down and float the left arm up. Sweep the left arm down, right arm forward. Shift your weight completely into the front leg. Back leg comes through, rise again, and touch down. We're moving straight into the other side. Moving with control. Tip. Rise again. And as we tip forward, this time we'll extend the back leg, touch down, feel the weight shift into the back leg, dip the knee, pull your left elbow down, right arm up. Now open towards the right. Full weight transfer into the front leg until the back leg drags off. Back knee comes through. Rise and step down really lightly. And let's repeat. One more time to each side. Just moving at your own pace. Moving with control and grace. Focusing on how your body arranges itself as the weight transfers. Making sure that your body is steady before shifting to the next movement. If you're feeling really wobbly or unsteady, then just take it even slower or make the movement smaller so that you're moving within a range of control. It also helps to focus your attention, trying to be really present in your movements, holding your awareness in this space as your body moves. Rising up one last time and stepping down to reset your posture. Just take a breath, close your eyes, and feel your weight settling into your feet. Dropping your weight back into your heels, and then shift your weight into the balls of the feet, back into your heels, and begin to lift your heels now, then rock back and rise on up again. Just rocking back and forth a few more times, getting a feel for it. Try to rise right up onto the big toes, fanning out to the smaller toes. See if your balance is any better than mine today. And then the next time you lift, float your arms up, bring fingertips together, come down through center as you slowly drop back into heels. Rising again and lower with control. One more time. And then set your feet just slightly wider, turning toes out. Rise high up onto your toes. Come together at the center. And this time as we lower, bend the knees, sitting as low as you can into a squat. So if you need to stay higher, you could bring forearms to thighs or whatever variation makes you feel more stable, especially if you have sore knees or a lower back. Then float hands to the floor. Lift your hips until your heels drop, and then slowly curl on up, rising to standing. Once you're upright, float heels up, arms rise, come down through center again, bending knees, sliding down with control to wherever it feels good to you. Then bring hands down, hips high, heels drop. Keep your knees as bent as they need to be. Rise on up. So the legs are straight as you lift. Come together down through center, lowering nice and smoothly. Hands touch down. And let's lift one more time. This time keep the heels down. Float arms up lightly. And bring hands to your heart center. Feet step under hips. Now float one foot to your calf, opening the knee out wide. Take a moment to center yourself. And then open arms out wide. Keep your hands very slightly forward of your body so the elbows are slightly rounded. Now bring eye gaze down to one hand. Coming back through center and down to the other hand. Return to center. Float hands together. And really slowly step your foot down. Bring weight into it and switch to the other side. Foot cups the calf, knee open, and try to center your weight above your heel so we're not swaying the hip out to the side. Arms open. Eye gaze down to one hand. Back through center and to the other. Through center, hands come together and step down. Now you could either repeat this once more to each side or try doing the same move on a block. Step one foot up. Realign the pelvis so it's level. Float the foot to the calf. Arms open out wide. Bringing your eye gaze to one hand and then the other. But if you're doing this on the ground and you want a little more of a challenge, you could try doing it with your eyes closed with your hands at your center. If you can't close them for long, try closing them just for a moment and then try again and see if you can increase the time with your eyes closed. Stepping down slowly and move to the other side. Same thing again, but see whether something feels different on one side compared to the other, whether you feel stronger, steadier on one side, or whether your body position feels a little different. Maybe the knee turnout is different. Maybe you have difficulty turning your head to one direction. Notice how active your standing ankle is. Now let's return to center. Step down quietly. Move the block out of the way. And bring your feet under your hips. Just loosen up again. Close your eyes and feel where your weight is centered. Float arms up and release all the way down into a forward fold with your knees bent. Let your neck and shoulders relax, arms drape down. And if you don't feel great hanging in a forward fold, you could bring forearms or hands up to your thighs to elevate the head, especially if you feel a little dizzy. Otherwise, draping down, maybe hold on to your elbows in the opposite hands if that feels good. Or you could even wrap your arms around the backs of your legs. Keep your knees bent as much as you need to. Feel the weight dropping into your feet. Spread your toes, let them land lightly. Really loosen up through neck and shoulders. And just hold for a few more breaths. Get a sense of tilting your hips up towards the ceiling and dropping your head down towards the floor. You can stay here as long as you like, or if you prefer, come down to the floor with your legs out long in front of you. Knees bent generously, wrapping arms behind your legs. and laying your belly over your thighs. And you might prefer to have a block beneath your feet if that's comfortable. Or you could turn the soles of your feet together, move them quite far away from you with your knees open, and stay here for as long as it feels good to you.